This is W2FJH bringing up the STNY Digital VoiceNet on Brandmeister Talk Group 31367, Wires X Room 83721, and on Zoom. The primary purpose of the STNY Digital VoiceNet is to help foster an active digital voice community in the southern tier of New York and to provide a forum for those who are interested or have questions regarding various digital voice topics. While this net is primarily for the southern tier, all stations are more than welcome to check in. This net meets weekly on Sundays at 7 p.m. Again, the call is Whiskey 2 Foxtrot Juliet Hotel, and the name here is Frank. But first, take a standby for any stations with emergency or priority traffic. Please call now. Okay, nothing heard there. If there is any emergency or priority traffic during this net, please give your call sign followed by the word break spoken 2 times. Please leave a 4 to 5 second pause between transmissions for breaking stations or for those who wish to disconnect this talk group. This is a direct net, and the format will follow announcements, questions, and comments. This net utilizes NetLogger, which can be found at netlogger.org. NetLogger is not required, and we will take additional voice check-ins. For more information about this net or to join the Zoom meeting, please visit STNYDMR.net. That's Sierra Tango November Yankee Delta Mike Romeo.net. You can also find us on 73.net. That's Sierra Echo Victor Echo November numeric number 3.net. This net will prioritize short time, mobile, in and out, and emergency power stations, followed by NetLogger check-ins, followed by voice check-ins. We currently do have 2 stations checked in with NetLogger. One I took the liberty of, they keyed up, and I took the liberty of checking them in. So the net would like to recognize KC9HEK Brian and KB2SIN Bill. All right, when checking in, please give your call sign, your name, and your location. So let's take a standby for any stations that are short time, mobile, in and out, or emergency power. Please call now. Okay, nothing heard there, so let's open it up for any station that would like to check into the STNY Digital VoiceNet this evening. Please call now.
N2 NCB.
N2 NRA.
All right, we have N2NCB Paul along with N2NRA Cliff. Were there any other stations to join this evening? Please call now. All right, nothing heard there, so let's kick things off. If there's any announcements for the net this evening, please call now. Okay, nothing heard there. I did have one quick announcement I did see on 7.3 before. Our good friend there in local ham, Bill, KB2SIN, is actually posted that he's having a 25% off sale for call sign lights. They look pretty nice, little neon lights at his shop. So if anybody's interested, you can find a link on 73.net, but also you can find his page there at shophamradiogifts.com. So that sale is going on through December 24th. Okay, so moving on to questions for the evening. If there's any questions, please call now. right, with nothing heard there, we will move into comments. And the net topic this evening was, what was your first radio and what is your favorite radio now? So the top of my list is KC9 ATK. Brian, how was your week there?
This is KC9HEK. Good evening, Frank. Hello to the rest of the group. Well, that is a question I could probably talk about for the rest of the half hour. I assume you're referring to ham-related type radios. So I'll start off with and say that my first radio, although it wasn't a ham radio, it was a receiver. It was a Helicrafters S76 that I bought when I was a teenager looking to listen to shortwave international broadcast stations. As a matter of fact, I still have that radio, and I'm getting together with a friend, WB2LYL, and we're rebuilding it on Thursday of this week. So replacing capacitors and tubes and things like that. As far as actually ham radio, I've been licensed about 20 years. My first ham radio was a handheld. It was a Kenwood G70, 2 meter, 440. And my current favorite radio is one that I just purchased within the last 90 days, and it's a Yaesu FT-DX10. A lot of you know I have a hearing loss, and my old HF radio, I just could not copy sidemen anymore. But with this new radio, with the filtering, it's and the digital noise reduction is absolutely wonderful, and I can once again copy single sideband. So very, very happy with that radio. I'll turn it back to you, Frank. This is KC9HEK.
Hey, very good there, Brian. And yeah, I figured this might be a good question, and I figured a lot of hams might be able to spend a whole hour talking about all of their favorite radios. So I kind of limited to the first one and your favorite now. So it's really good that the latest radio you have there really helps you out there. So, all right, next on my list is KV2SIN. Bill, how was your week?
Good evening, Frank, and everybody else on the net. I'm not a bad week. Getting some things done. Got our tree finally picked out and put up today. Got that up to Farm to Market Road up by Ford there. Nice tree, but they're a little pricey this year if you haven't gotten yours yet. First ham radio was a mobile that N2GSS sold me. It was an ICOM. Can't think of the number of it. But that was a single band, 2 meter, and that was my first. And my first HT was one of the old Radio Shack handhelds. And now I've got my favorite is the Yaesu FT450. Love the radio. And I also have a Yaesu 857 Delta, which I take up at camp and use that up at camp. So with that, I'll turn it back to the net. KV2SIN. Great week to everyone.
Hey, very good there, Bill. And yes, actually, me and the XYL also went up and got our tree this weekend. I can confirm they are pretty pricey this year as well. And I tied it down to the roof of the SUV there, and I got it all nice and tight on there. But I just happened to take a picture, and it looks like we compressed the tree a little bit. So I sent a picture to my friend, who's also a software engineer, and I told him we compressed it, and I said it was the Christmas tree.tgz. So. All right, next on my list is N2NCB. Paul, how was your week?
Hello again, Frank and all into NCB here. Well, pretty good overall. Last week I got a surprise of 16 DX QSL cards. So today seemed like an excellent day to do all that work to send my cards back. So got that done. And we did some little stuff on the radio. The answer weren't just up to what I wanted them to be, but I at least met my, I think I got 3 today, but at least made the one, and did a few other things, and was reading a book on anti-gravity, and I couldn't put it down. Back to you, Frank. Take care, all into NCV.
Hey, very good there, Paul. And yeah, that does sound like an interesting book there. So, all right, next on my list is N2NRA. Cliff, how was your week?
This is N2NRA from Waverly. Waverly had played their game in Syracuse and won state for the first time. And so this week, a lot of rain. And the past couple of days, we had 1.15 inches of rain. And first radio my dad brought home was an S41G Helicrafter. And then my first one I built was a night kit R55A, and the transmitter I don't remember. It was a CW unit, and I got my novice license. And so since then, the rig I first used was an FT 101 double E until I upgraded to the FT 990, which is still in the box until I get an antenna put back up. And so that was been pretty much the week there. Back to net control. This is N2NRA.
Hey, very good there, Cliff. All right, this is W2FJH with the STNY Digital Voice Stand. I have reached the end of my list. So let's take a standby for any additional stations that would like to check in this evening. Please call now. All right, nothing heard there. So let's open it up for any additional stations or any stations that have checked in with additional comments, questions, or concerns, or if you want to talk about one of your first radios a little more, please call now.
N to NCV.
All right, N2 NCB, Paul, fire away with your comments.
Well, this is one of these things when they don't write it down, um, it doesn't get talked about. Because I forgot to talk about my radios, and my first one was the Kenwood TM241A. That was a mobile unit, and in the morning I'd stick it in the car, go to work, come back from work, come back and stick it in the shack for checking into nighttime nets, and that worked really well, and I've still got it. I think the power dropped a little bit on it, but it's still functional. And probably most of my radios now I've switched over to Yaesu because I've got the 991A, the 857D, and the 8 to 17. It's either NC or ND. I forgot. Anyway, but I kind of like those radios because, well, some people are turning their ham shack in a box, but if I want to go anywhere, they're portable, and I've got everything. I don't need to take 3 or 4 radios with me, and I've got various manufacturers of the HTs as well, but that comprises at least of the shack. So there, I answered the question of the net. Back to you, Frank. Take care, all. Into NCP.
Hey, very good there, Paul, and thanks for coming back too. Because I was jotting down notes while you were talking, and I thought you didn't mention about your first radio, your favorite radio, and I was going to move on because I was like, maybe I just spaced out. Maybe he did say it. I just didn't think about it for a second, but okay, it's good you called back because I figured you might want to add a few comments there. So, all right, this is W2FJH with the STNY Digital Voice Net. Let's see if there's any additional stations or any stations that tucked in with any additional comments, questions, or concerns. Please call now.
This is KC9 HEK.
All right, KC9HEK, Brian, fire away there.
Thank you, Frank. I haven't been able to join the group for several weeks, and you folks may have already discussed this. But on some other nets I've participated in, there's been significant conversation about Andy Taylor no longer supporting PyStar, and there's going to be no future releases. Some of the new Raspberry Pi, PyStars, whatever you want to call them these days, are coming out pre-installed with WPSD. I'm curious if anybody here in the group has already upgraded and converted their Raspberry Pis or their Power Stars over to WPSD, what they think of that software, and how difficult was the conversion. This is KC9HEK. I'll turn it back to you, Frank.
Yeah, very good comment there, Brian. I did not know that the supporter of PyStar was not going to be supporting it any longer. So that's some definite big news there. I actually do have that piece of software installed. I took the WPSD version of PyStar there. It does add quite a few additional features. Um, and what I did was I kind of left my SD card alone that had PyStar on there, and I just took a new SD card and flashed it with the same firmware. It was the same procedure to install PyStar. Came up and basically had similar configurations, but there was some additional features on there for me at least. We could always cover it in an after that tech topic if you'd like. And yeah, you'd have to just let me know when you might be free, because I know it is difficult for you to join us on Sundays here. Well, you definitely could kind of walk through and configure one and set it all up. But I will open it up if anybody else has installed the. Sorry, I gotta scroll up again. I keep forgetting the words there. WPSD, Whiskey Papa Sierra Delta software on their PyStar, and have any additional comments for Brian there, please call now. Okay, nothing heard there, so hopefully what I was given there was good. Also, Brian, I do have the Zoom meeting up and running. Maybe after the net here, I was going to talk about the WSL2, which is Windows subsystem for Linux, but if nobody else joins and you would like to talk about the WPSD, be more than happy just to show it there. Also, I do have a recording of last week's currently on YouTube. I'm currently recording this net now to post onto YouTube as well. But if you see my browser in the bottom right of those videos, you'll see I have kind of what they call the simple view of just the people talking in the bottom right there. So hopefully it helps out, and let me know if you can stick around and on Zoom after the net day if you'd like to take a look, go over the different configurations there. So back to you there, Brian. KC9HK, this is W2FJH.
This is Casey at NHK. Frank, I'd love to take you up on your invitation to join the After TechNet, but I just can't do that tonight. But I will try and get back to you with some Sunday when I can attend the After TechNet. And if you wanted to make the topic the Whiskey Papa Sierra Delta switch over, I'd certainly most appreciate that. Thank you very much. This is KC9HEK.
All right, sounds like a plan there, Brian. All right, this is W2FJH with the STNY Digital Voice Net. Let's take another standby for any additional stations or any stations that have checked in with any last-minute comments, questions, or concerns. Please call now.
N2 NRA.
N2 NRA, Cliff, fire away with your comments there.
Okay, I was wondering how many in the group got started with radio with Citizen Band. Call sign KNP 2660, a night kit when I was in high school I built, and sort of got involved with actively with radio with Citizen Band before moving on to the novice license with which was only good for a year at the time. And of course, the Citizen Band used to have a license, but now it's not required anymore. And so that was just a little wondering if anybody else got involved that way. Back to you, Frank. W2FJH and 200.
Hey, good question there, Cliff. Me myself, I've always known kind of CB to not have a license, but I will open it up for anybody that had started out with Citizen Band. Please call now. All right, nothing heard there, so I guess no takers on that. So I head back to you there, Cliff, if you have any additional comments. Also, I believe we may have another. Oh, never mind. Sorry, there was somebody in the not logger group that I wasn't sure wanted to be checked in or not. But I'll hand it back over to you there, Cliff, for any additional comments you had.
No, that was just I had forgotten about the CB license part of it. Shop teacher is what got me involved with amateur radio, and I moved on. I had gotten my novice license, and then of course that's only good for a year, I believe, and then you're supposed to upgrade. And I sort of didn't do much with it until I got back in the '90s, and then progressed up through the ranks with amateur radio. This is N2 Array, back to net control.
And thanks, Eric. And yeah, I didn't get started with CB. I did first before my ham radio license. I did start with GMRS, and I still actually have and hold a GMRS license. But I do find it interesting that CB radio, as far as I understand, CB radio is one of the ones that are currently monitored. Channels 9 and 19 are currently monitored, I think, by like the Highway Department or other government affiliations. Um, but yeah, as far as I know, no other frequencies are actively monitored for emergencies or things along those lines by any um, government agencies. But all right, let's make this final call here with the this is W2FJH with the STNY Digital Voice Net. Let's see if there's any additional stations to join this evening or any last minute comments, questions, or concerns. Please call now. right, and with nothing heard, we will wrap things up here. So I'd like to thank Brian, Bill, Paul, and Cliff for joining me this evening. We'll be returning this talk group back to normal amateur radio use. Everybody have a great and safe week there. This is W2FJH, and I'll be listening.